Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, championing the unsung heroes of business, accountants.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Brett Michalson. Brett has more than 20 plus years of accounting and technology experience. He is an experienced executive leader with extensive background in solution design, product management, product development, professional services, information technology, and enterprise risk management. He was a founding employee of AcctTwo, and since the firm's combination with Baker Tilly, he leads Baker Tilly's finance as a service solution design and software developer. Brett started his career in the advisory practice for a Big Four accounting firm and spent 7 years in public accounting advisory before becoming the implementation practice leader and CTO of AcctTwo. Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Brett.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Well, first, Brett, why do you do what you do?
So first, to answer that, why do I do what I do is what we do. At Baker Tilly, we create products for the Sage Intacct ecosystem. Our philosophy is that Sage Intacct is a great core financial engine for an accounting and finance department, but it can't be everything to everyone. And so we build integrations to key software partners. We automate last mile needs for an organization or an industry. And we build intelligence products to help organizations get the most of their data that's already in Sage Intacct, or to create new data that they need for management reporting and get it into Sage Intacct. So why do we do that? Well, I started my career at PricewaterhouseCoopers doing Sarbanes-Oxley assurance audit work. And I have to say that, one of the things that I enjoy most about what I do now is I get to create new things. Well, when I started that role, it was the beginning of Sarbanes-Oxley. We had to figure out how to interpret the rules and create test plans and all that. And that was interesting, but it quickly became checkbox, review other people's work, not a very creative endeavor. And it didn't feel like I was really adding value to those organizations. I mean, in a large sense, I understand, the audit practice performs a very important value proposition to the industry. But in my day-to-day, I didn't even feel like my customers really wanted me as the auditor to be there. They would just assume I wasn't. So I didn't feel personally very fulfilled by that. And I changed my role more towards consulting and more towards the middle market. And in that, I felt a lot more fulfilled. I got to provide greater value to these middle market organizations. Much of it was still Sarbanes-Oxley business process audit preparation, but they were really interested in my advice, to prepare to go public or to prepare to be audited by someone else. In that role, I also did other things. I did system selections, system implementations, all kinds of management, business process reporting, opportunity for projects, HIPAA audits. But over time, that role led me towards selecting and implementing Sage Intacct, which I really enjoyed. Sage Intacct has a very extensible platform. It's very configurable. I felt like I had all these tools in my toolkit to be creative to solve various different companies' problems. You have the limitations of your toolbox, and how can you creatively use the different tools that it provides to solve those? One of the things I found, though, is at the end of the day, you are still limited by the configurations, and many organizations that implement a new finance and accounting system, you have to be able to pay your bills. You have to be able to invoice your customers. So you get done with all of the basic requirements of your system implementation. And then in my experience, a lot of organizations, either through fatigue or cost or whatever the case was, lack of attention, they decided to move away to different projects and left a lot of the value on the table of completing all their management reporting. And so, now what do we do? Well, my organization builds integrations, automations, and intelligence for companies and for industry verticals. And we spend a lot of that time utilizing the expertise that Baker Tilly has in having implemented dozens or even 100 or more companies in an industry vertical to provide them with turnkey management reporting that's sort of best in class from our experience across a broad range of perspectives and organizations.
So, Brett, why is it so important for customers to take that extra step to really maximize the value that they're going to get from their solution?
Yeah, so there's this promise we make as part of the sale of a financial accounting system and as part of an implementation of an accounting system that this application, what is it you really need? What is the output you're going to get? Well, besides being able to pay your bills, invoice your customers, it's reporting and visibility into your organization. And with Sage Intacct, it's a multi-dimensional system. It has statistical accounts for keeping track of non-financial data. It has reporting and BI capabilities built in. We have this sort of promise of you're going to be able to have at the fingertips actionable insights anywhere you are, and have that information about your organization to drive decision making. And so when that gets left on the cutting room floor, I feel like we've not added the amount of value we should be adding to an organization. And so what are those types of things, right? It depends on your industry. As an example, we've created an intelligence product for faith-based organizations that help leadership see when members are engaging in a particular fund, when they're disengaging from a particular fund, the acceleration or deceleration of that. You can see different campus results and attendance. They can see things like how much they're spending on administrative versus their mission. All of those things will drive decision-making, improve decision-making around their organization, where to invest in marketing and outreach, when to have a pastoral conversation with an individual member. The types of things when to talk about funds or retire funds, how to see whether certain funds are growing at a rate you expect, and how to plan your future expenditures from all that. I mean, those are all really important pieces of information. Those are the types of things a lot of these organizations make decisions. They make decisions in those areas. They have information, but it's not all put together for them at their fingertips live. And I think there's really a lot of potential decision-making value that exists in that space that you need to have a either reporting or a product like our intelligence products to solve.
And Brett, we have an exit question that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours and why are they a hero?
Yeah, I find that a tough question because there's so many people that are, have heroic qualities. And thinking about how to answer that, I think from my perspective, I would go with Alan Turing. Alan Turing wrote codes in World War II to help win World War II for the Allies, broke the Enigma codes. He's also a brilliant computer scientist, really helped formalize the beginnings of computation, algorithm design, and is considered, by many to be kind of the father of modern computer science and artificial intelligence. So, Alan Turing.
And lastly, Brett, how can somebody get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can email me. My email address is brett.michalson, no E in Michalson, @bakertilly.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, so I'm happy to connect through LinkedIn as well.
All right, and we'll put your LinkedIn profile in the show notes. Brett Michalson, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Thank you, Ed.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.